When you're outside, don't forget to keep your skin safe.
Yeah, in this segment of Wellness Wednesday, Sarah Massler-Donor sat down with a doctor from SSM Health to talk about summer skincare.
Well, it is time for pool parties, outdoor sports, and days at the beach, but because it's Wellness Wednesday, we do have to talk about the health side of that and how too much sun exposure can be seriously damaging to your skin. Dr. Rupa Shah is back with us for Wellness Wednesday. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So let's start out with sunscreen. We know that is like the biggest thing we need to protect our skin when we're outside. So how do you choose the right one?
So the biggest thing I tell folks is use a sunscreen or pick a sunscreen that you are actually going to use, whether that be a lotion, a spray, or a stick. Because if you choose something you like, you're more likely to reapply it. Then you want to choose something that's broad spectrum. That means it's got equal UVA and UVB protection. So that's really important to have a broad spectrum sunscreen.
Okay.
And then choose something with an SPF of at least 30. That gives you about 97% protection. Anything above that is kind of gravy. You get little incremental increases in protection, but it's not that much. So at least aim for 30.
Okay.
And then of course the key is reapply.
Yes.
If you were in the water, if you're sweating, if you've toweled off, even if it's water resistant, you want to keep reapplying at least every 2 hours.
That was my mistake years ago when my family was in Florida. My sister and I were in the ocean and we did not reapply after it all washed off. Worst sunburn of my life.
That happens to everybody.
And we're gonna talk about how to treat sunburn in just a second. But what are some of the other ways to protect your skin in the sun?
Yeah, so some good rules of thumb are if you are really sensitive to the sun, avoid the times when the sun is the highest in the sky, so between 10 and 4. Try and stay indoors if you can. Bring big hats, sunglasses. The other thing people forget about sometimes is that there's a lot of good UPF clothing, that protective clothing. So that can be great for adults, but especially for children. They have some great shirts, shorts, that type of gear that can really protect people from the sun as well.
Well, let's say you slip up, like me and my sister in Florida, and you get that sunburn. How do you treat a sunburn?
Yeah, so taking like a cool shower, leave yourself a little bit damp and then apply moisturizer right away. So that kind of seals in the moisture. Try something with a little aloe vera because that's going to be anti-inflammatory. And then you can try a little bit of over-the-counter like hydrocortisone. That doesn't need a prescription. You can get that at most pharmacies. And hydrocortisone can be just a little bit of calming on the skin, anti-inflammatory. You want to avoid things like tetracaine or lidocaine. Those products can actually be a little irritating to the skin, even though they're numbing, and they can cause an allergic dermatitis. So avoid those. Go for hydrocortisone, and then ibuprofen. Such a great anti-inflammatory, helps with the swelling, the redness, the itching, and the pain. So that can be a really great option too.
Well, Dr. Shah, thank you so much for being with us at kind of the start of summer here. Give us these tips to keep our skin safe.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.